Sustaining. Okay, let's have our beginning 1 moment of silence, everyone. Close your eyes if that's comfortable. And we'll start with our 1 minute now with the bells. Slowly open your eyes if they're closed. And just notice how that 1 minute of silence with all of us holding that space together, how that felt, and however it felt is okay. Thank you all for coming to our last week 6 class. It's on sustaining daily mindfulness. And we're going to be elongating the practice today. We're going to have more silent meditation, more yoga and breath. And then we're going to have some compassion meditation with Julie, and then some science summary at the end with Julie. And then we'll all have about 10 minutes or so to talk and share any questions or how this is going for you, how we can help you in the future. So Heidi, would you like to get us started?
Yes. Hi, everyone. All right, I'm going to spotlight myself. Hello on this. If you're in Morgantown, finally, after all the bluebird sunny days, we got a little rainy day. The grass needs it and the trees need it, but great to be here with all of you, our last class. So we're going to be kicking it off with some movement, and throughout the 6 weeks together, we've given you lots of items that you can put in your Mindful Steps toolkit, whether it's navigating your needs and needing a little moment to breathe, choosing a breathing practice, whether you find that you need a meditation, but then you're like, well, what kind of meditation? I remember the ones that Laurel did, or, oh man, the compassion ones of Julie's, and finding something that is going to work for you. And in movement, also thinking about the different practices we've explored throughout the 6 weeks together, from the 6 movements, the standing and playful balance. We did a little more in the chair, to some postures last week, which were a little more restorative. And I always like to think of this idea of like navigating my needs. Do I need to feel upregulated? And what's something I can do to kind of upregulate my energy? Or am I feeling like, I'm already upregulated? Do I need something to tone things down a bit or downregulate? And just kind of think about those things in your back pocket that you can always turn to in the mindful steps. And then sometimes it's like, I feel like me sometimes, like I'm frozen, I can't think. Where can I go? Remember that we have great resources online. Anthony's been so great about sharing the weekly emails with links to our YouTube page, and where you can find all of our classes there. We also have YouTube meditations as well, and short movement practices on there. And then in town, if you want to go to meditation or yoga classes, we are so lucky to have some great yoga studios in Morgantown. If you want to practice with me at Health Sciences, I'd love to see you for class. I teach Mondays at 5:30 and 5:15. And on Wednesdays, I teach at 12:30. And those classes are free. So what a great resource. You just come and do yoga. They're 45-minute classes. I do weave in movement, of course, but breath work and mindfulness meditation techniques as well. So it'd be great to see you. So just a reminder, I wanted to put that out there right away about the resources that are available to you. You could always reach out to us whenever needed. But then also the inner resource that you already have, and trust that as much as you can as you're navigating your day, as you're navigating your week, or maybe it's just like minute to minute trying to walk through that day. Really just take that moment. Even I love Laurel's starting off every week with that minute of silence. If we can give ourselves a minute of silence, sometimes we start to hear that inner resource key in of like, I need some water. I need to phone a friend. I need to hear Julie's voice with a compassion meditation today. And then move forward in that direction, step by step, moment by moment. Then we sometimes trip when we get back in. And that's how we take our mindful steps. So if you are ready to flow with me, we're going to actually go all the way back to what we did our first class, because I really, really love 6 movements of the spine. If you can remember any sort of movement that could just jazz you up or even sometimes down regulate, the 6 movements is so great. So we'll do the sequence standing, and then we'll also throw in the 6 movements from a seated position. So I'm going to get up. If you're available to stand, join me in standing. If you are able to take your shoes off today, even if you have socks on, or maybe pull those socks off, go for it. But coming into your standing posture. And as I'm doing right now, I'm just giving myself a little shift around, not trying to feel stuck, just landing into the earth and kind of greeting, welcoming the earth into my feet. So a little step side to side. And then starting to still that movement side to side. And then maybe give yourself a little forward and back, where you get a sense of like movement into the toes, movement into the heels, a little back and forth. And it's getting your bearings in mountain pose, but it's also a great way to wake up your foot energy too. And then when you're ready, find some stillness from the forward and back and land into your feet. Feel some steadiness across the base of your feet, from the toes to the heels, side to side, and right through the center, some groundedness, and then maybe a little lift coming from your arches. And here you land in your mountain. Greeting your mountain, earth down below supporting you. Can you also feel a little lift up towards the sky? And in the shape of mountain, a little stillness in the body, but noticing the stillness might come in the limbs and the trunk, but can you notice that inherent rhythm of your breath? So stillness sometimes is like a little riddle. Am I actually still? Or where is the movement that I can land on that can bring me focus when things around me might be going a little too fast? So landing with your breath, we'll start movement with the breath. With an inhale, sweep your arms up any amount, stretch it up towards the ceiling. And then with an exhale, lower it down. Oh, my doggy Tila wants to join us now. Let's take that up again. Inhale. And exhale. All right, we're going to start to add on. Inhale through the nose. And now out through your mouth, go H-A, ha, but then press your palms down like ha. Press down, 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 down. Inhale, reach those arms back up. So we're changing the arm positions and adding a little bit of that breath of courage. How about 2 more? Inhale, reach high, get tall. Exhale. Long exhale. 1 more. Letting your arms rest by your side. Just that little bit of wake up, arms moving, body breathing. Let's start to wake up the side bodies, resting your right hand to the belly. Now bring the left arm up, side bend over to your right. And we'll linger here today. Take about 3 to 4 breaths. Maybe you're leaning just a little today, or you might find gravity taking you in a little bit more. Notice how the breath naturally gives life to the shape. Feel the feet, land the feet, lift yourself back up. Left arm's going to switch with the right hand. Pick up the right arm now and side bend to your left a little bit or a lot of bit. Where does that feel comfortable for you today? And then in the shape, invite the breath in to do some of the work, creating space and relieving tension. And land back into your feet, lifting it back up, and then both arms back by your side. A moment to reset back in mountain, just getting a sense of how that felt side to side. And although we're lingering a little longer in the shapes today, know that the 6 movements is something that you could do just 1 breath, 1 pose, right? If you need a real quick minute pick me up. Let's move to our twist. Once again, taking the right hand to the belly, this time left arm, slide it behind your back. Maybe take your feet a little bit wider and allow the knees to drop slightly, getting some energy into the legs. And now from here, start to twist towards your left. Right hand might slide a little to the left. Turning to your left, if it feels okay, look over that left shoulder. And again, find the shape without forcing it or pushing it too hard. Find the shape where then the breath can come in, smooth things out, create space, relieve some tension. Land into your feet, press the feet down, unwind, release the arms. And we'll take it to the other side. Left hand to the belly, right arm behind you. Little bend to the knees, dropping energy into the legs. Steady here. Now start to turn to the right. Trunk of the body turns. The hips might move a little bit as well. If the neck feels good, look over the right shoulder any amount here. And then bring the breath in. Maybe you want to play with, you want a little more fluid, bigger breaths. Or you want a softer breath. Navigate the shape for you. 1 more breath in the pose. Land into your feet and come on out. Once again, pause in mountain. Notice what you notice. Wonderful. I'm going to turn sideways just a little bit. As we've gone through in a neutral, we've gone through side bending and twists. We're going to wake up our back bend. So bringing your palms together at the center of the chest. Right? You can keep legs long here or feel free to bend your knees a little bit if that feels better. Now start to take the arms out wide. We call this cactus arms or goalpost arms. As you take the arms out wide, think of lifting up through the spine like you're zipping things up from navel to heart to top of the head. And then maybe let the arms fall back with gravity, curving your spine very gently. Allow a breath to come in. And now with an exhale, come back to neutral. Bring your palms together at heart center. All right, we have those 2 moves, opening and then back to center. Let's do that 4 times together. With an inhale, think of lifting up, tall, 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 little back bend. And then exhale, hands to heart center. Go at your pace. Inhale, get tall, extend as you move into a back bend. Exhale, navel draws back gently as you come to neutral. 2 more for you. Follow your breath. One more. Inhale. And exhale. Finding a moment to reset back in neutral. I love doing that one, especially if I've been at the desk or if I've been driving a lot, kind of opening things up, getting some space into all tense parts of the body. All right, arms by your side. From the back bend, a gentle forward bend. Let's start by bending the knees quite a bit so you can rest your elbows onto the thighs. Now, if you have a chair in front of you or a table, you could easily go right there and rest your arms. But staying in elbows onto the thighs, look down to the ground if you're in this shape. And then decide if you want to fold more. You could start to lift the hips a little bit, let the knees lengthen, head will come a little bit lower, bringing your fingertips down to the floor if the floor is there. If you have a stool or some books nearby, you could place them there for your hands. And now navigate this pose. Take some time to linger, whether you're resting onto a chair or a table. Maybe see if it's nice to kind of sway the trunk a bit, sway the hips. Does it feel nice just to be still and let the head feel heavy? And can you get a sense back into your feet, landing into your strong, steady legs so your lumbar spine can release and lengthen? Find one more breath. And now to come up with care, feet press down, bend the knees a little. If you're deep in your fold, elbows come back to your thighs. Use your legs to help you up. And as you come up, unravel big time. Bring those arms up in any amount. And then arms by your side. Right, reset mountain. Maybe you notice a little bit more energy moving through you after folding, after moving. Bringing right hand to the belly, left hand up to the center of the chest. Landing here in your mountain, eyes can stay open, or if you'd like for a bit, close your eyes. Being in this point of stillness again in mountain. But now can you turn your energy into the breath? And moving into a short version of mountain 3-part breath. As you notice the rhythm of your breath on the inhale, notice how the movement goes into your right hand, into the ribs, up to the left hand. And as you exhale, it comes back to center, chest, ribs, belly, being called home. As the breath comes in, once again, belly, ribs, chest, expand. Any amount, could be very subtle. Exhale, it comes back to center, chest, ribs, belly. Be with that about 3 more breaths. Just noticing the natural inherent shape change that you have with your breathing body. However grand or subtle it's showing up for you today. And now after your next exhale, if you're standing, come to a seated position. We're going to start to move our 6 movements from a seated shape so that we can get back into almost a more grounded quality before Laurel guides us through a lovely long meditation. So from standing, come to your seated pose, resting your hands to the tops of your legs. Here we'll greet forward and back bend with a cat-cow action. So as you exhale, breathe out, draw your spine to the back of your chair, slide your hands towards your knees, look to the earth. As you inhale, sit up tall, extend the spine, roll the shoulders open, then maybe add a little bit of that curve we took in the cactus pose. Exhale, navel draws back, round your spine, look down. Inhale, sit up tall, roll the shoulders open, add any amount of back bend here. Find 3 more for you. Seated cat-cow. And I do this anywhere, on a plane flight, passenger in the car, at work, dinner table. Last one here. And then after your gentle cow pose, back bend, resetting. So in this seated mountain pose, invite your right hand to the side of your chair. Left arm coming up. We'll greet a side bend again. Side bend over to your right. This time, allow the right arm just to release, maybe carving out some space from the neck down to the shoulder. Right hand heavy. Land into your feet. Pick yourself back up. Releasing the left arm. Little secret there, whenever we do twists and side bends, hey, you're getting some core work and you didn't even have to do crunches. So right arm up, side bend to your left, any amount. Let the left arm feel comfortably heavy all the way down to the fingers, maybe creating some space in the left side of the neck to the shoulder. Great, finding some length in the right side of the body. Land into the feet. And bring it back up. Release the right arm. Right. From here, invite your right leg, either ankle to the thigh. So we did this in one of our classes here. Ankle to the thigh is seated runner's 4. If that's not comfortable, sit far on the edge of your seat and just allow that right leg to fall open with the outside of your leg onto the floor. I'm going to move my survey out of the way. It popped up again. There we go. All right. So from your runner's 4 position into a twist. So starting to move the body to the right. Left hand might like to rest on that right leg. And then right hand, maybe hold on to the back of the chair or slide it like we did earlier. Slide it around the back. Looking over your right shoulder if that feels good. And again, if your foot is down, you're dropping the knee out to the side and turning to the right. Letting the shape breathe. One more breath here. And then start to unwind the shape. Release the leg from the thigh or bring that right foot back to neutral. We'll greet that on the other side. So taking your left leg, once again, ankle to the thigh, or just allowing the knee to fall open, outside edge of your left foot on the floor. Start to get tall, create space for your twist, turning to your left. Right hand can rest gently to the left knee. As you bring the left arm back to the chair, or again, you could slide it back behind the lower back. You can kind of see my hand back there saying hi. Looking over your left shoulder. A little quiet time. Be in the shape. Breathe the shape. And then start to unwind from the shape. Releasing your legs back to neutral. And then settling feet just a little bit wider. You might like to be a little more on the edge of your seat. So we've taken the 6 movements. Let's come back to the breath. And we'll be doing the same movement we did earlier, where we took a little journey in a variation of breath of courage. But this time with this arm movement, we'll be adding the bumblebee breath or the humming breath. So the arm movement is going to almost encourage you to take a longer exhale, so that when you're pressing down gently with the hands, with the bumblebee breath, you'll hum or buzz as you exhale down. Inhale through the nose as you take the arms up. So if you're ready, rest your arms by your side. There's always the invitation to scratch the humming breath if that's not for you today. Maybe you want to go back to the Ujjayi breath of courage. Just exhale out the mouth. Or repeat the 3-part breath. This journey is yours and honor it today. If you'd like to join me in Bumblebee breath, we'll be taking 5 rounds. With an inhale, smooth, deep breath in. And as you exhale, hum. Inhale when you need to inhale. Hum as you exhale. Three more. Last one, friends. Inhale. Exhale. With the exhale, invite the hands to rest to the tops of the legs, shoulders soft, face soft, back body holding you up. Gathering a sense of the wholeness that is you as you've treated yourself to movement and focused breath. Gratitude to the time you're giving yourself today. And let's take that gratitude into Laurel's meditation.
Oh, thank you so much, Heidi. Thank you. I don't know about you all, but I'm totally in my body. And we're going to stay in this meditative state that Heidi's guided us into. And we're going to have a longer meditation today, maybe close to about 15 minutes. And I'm going to be talking at the beginning, and then I'll talk just a little, I'll say a few things throughout the time. But this is an experiential time of feeling how it is to be more in silence, to befriending silence, so to speak. Some of my clients, through intense trauma in their lives, have had a hard time befriending silence, and that's understandable completely. Going inward can be challenging sometimes, and silence can be challenging sometimes. So it won't be completely quiet today. You'll have sounds in the hallway near you. You'll maybe have sounds in your room. So just notice those sounds, notice those thoughts, notice whatever you notice, and then gently come back to your breath. So I'll guide you in this practice, and then I won't be talking very much at all, maybe a little bit throughout the 15 minutes. So again, let's just let your breath flow easily in and out. Close your eyes if that's comfortable, or a fuzzy gaze down. And feeling your breath flowing without any holding or forcing in any way. Yes, feeling your breath flowing like waves on the ocean or a feather on the cloud. Just easy and effortlessly. Bringing your awareness maybe to the temperature of your inhalation and then your exhalation. Allowing your breath to anchor you into this present moment of nowhere to go, nothing to do, just being here now, fully present. Maybe feeling the temperature of your room against your skin. Your clothing against your skin. And on your next exhalation, allowing your shoulders and jaw to let go a little bit more. With every exhalation, letting go just a little bit more. Feeling your body breathing. As Heidi said, maybe feeling your belly or chest expand and then contract. However you're feeling your breath is okay. Now bringing your awareness to your feet, wiggling your toes a bit to feel that full awareness of connection to earth, almost as though you had roots like a tree, connecting you deeply, deeply into the earth for stability, strength, a sense of groundedness, a sense of oneness. And when you're ready, imagine breathing those characteristics up your left and right leg, into your left and right hip, and then feeling the full weight of your body on what you're sitting. Feeling fully or nearly fully grounded into this present moment with all of your being, calling all of your being here in this moment. Noticing any thoughts now, or feelings, or bodily sensations. Whatever you notice is okay. After you've noticed what you're noticing, gently and kindly bring your awareness back to your breath. And this is what we'll be doing together in silence. You'll be noticing whatever you notice, a thought, feeling, bodily sensation, sound in the room. And after you've observed that, and you're aware that you're maybe lost in that, then gently and kindly bringing your awareness back to your breath. And now we'll take some time to be with each other in this way. Just gently notice whatever is showing up for you, taking your time and observing. And then gently bringing your awareness back to your breath. Gently notice what you notice without judgment. And gently bring your awareness back to your breath, beginning anew each time. Gently now bringing your awareness back to your room, your feet grounded to the earth. Slowly open your eyes if they're closed. Just observe what you're feeling without any judgment. Whatever you're feeling is okay. Every feeling is welcome. And I think we'd like to slide right into Julie's compassion meditation now.
Thank you so much, Laura.
You're welcome.
So it is always important when you practice compassion meditation to have a sandwich of doing the mindful breathing before and after. So from this state of equanimity, of peace, regardless of, it might have been a turbulent peace, but it's still you're holding space for yourself. And so now I invite you to reflect on any difficulties or stresses that might have come up during the day or during even the meditation session. If there was, a thought or emotion that was unsettling or any pain in the body, and having some compassion for yourself, wishing that things were looking a bit better or that pain wasn't there. Discomfort or frustration is ameliorated and lessened. And so when we do practice, we're able to provide a safe environment for these thoughts and emotions to come up without blocking them. We notice, and then we can gently have love for ourselves, compassion for ourselves, wishing ourselves health, peace, and connection with our loved ones and the things we love doing. So taking a moment to wish that for ourselves, that we get the rejuvenation that'll help us do what we want to do in the world. And then realizing that all of us here have some sort of difficulty. Even on a good day, we sometimes are a bit sore, have some kind of nagging obligation or regret coming up in our mind. So now expanding that compassion that we started or began with ourselves, and realizing that all of us here want happiness, want love. And so wishing that for all of us. And then expanding even beyond all of us here, that sense of humanity in the whole city that we're in, whether it's Morgantown or a different city. Town. Wishing peace, happiness, spreading to include all of this state of the area, West Virginia, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Maryland. Wishing everyone peace, that their stress is alleviated like a burden off their shoulders. And moving beyond our holler into the whole nation. And then the whole world, without dwelling on anything too specifically. There's a lot going on, but just that general wish for peace, happiness, love and joy, and human connection, nature connection. And try to bring this to a crescendo if you can, and not worrying. If you're having trouble with it, then sending compassion to other people who might be having trouble with it today. May we connect with others in the future. May we have a loving bond with our fellow people. And then bringing it back to centering with our breath, feeling a sense of groundedness in our body. If there's still residual emotions, that's fine. Just feeling the temperature of breath in your nostrils as you breathe in and out a few times. And as we slowly come back to the room, I'm going to present a very short summary of the science without a PowerPoint, just a sense of confidence and instruction that can come from the research. And so I present the science so you have a feeling of what mindfulness can be helpful for. And so we saw that in large meta-analysis, depression, anxiety, and pain had an effect size that was moderate, but on par with other standard therapies. And so knowing that mindfulness can work, knowing that it's not a magic pill is also important. Everyone is starting exactly where they are. Some people, if you come to it like myself, who, might have had a little bit of, challenges in the past, you're going to increase from where you are in terms of maybe lengthening your fuse, etc. So studies have shown that, when you do mindfulness, you're going in small steps, and those benefits last over time. They can last 12 months after taking a course like this, 15 months, and likely beyond. And part of that is doing the short little mindful SOS emergency mindfulness, combining with the longer sessions like we did today that really allow the upregulation of the good genes related to stress and downregulation of some of those fight flight responses that are not good for our body, not good for our mind. And then we also saw with the long-term meditators that what we're going for is a mental agility, right? We're doing the mind stabilization practices that give us control over our attention, more control over our emotion. But we're also training our emotions with compassion meditation so we can still keep that open heart. The majority of people in the first day, when I talked about people who might have had some struggles with their meditation, the main thing that can come up if you have sort of a little bit off in the approach of mindfulness, where you're wanting to kind of shut down emotion, shut down thought, it can be a tool to do that if you're not careful, and it could turn into depersonalization without keeping that open heart, without keeping that connection to the body. And so doing the yoga, doing the postures, doing the breath is really important in combination with just sort of the heady aspects of mindfulness. So that's all I wanted to say in terms of the summary. I think all of us would love to hear from you. We can talk, if no one chimes in, we can talk about some of the things that we have experienced in our mindfulness journeys, or if somebody would like to unmute themselves or raise their hand or put something in the chat, where we would love to take this this time. And if you are watching remotely and have questions, really feel free to email us, because it is important to get some of those questions answered. I think especially, if you're starting the practice, renewing the practice, now is a really good time.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. Thank you, Julie. Yes, please, let's hear your voice. We'd love to hear your voice, whatever you have to share. And we're all pretty mellow right now. My brain is offline because I'm truly in my body, so it's hard to think. But um, yeah, there are challenges to mindfulness meditation, and you know, and that's normal. That's normal. It's There are some days I'm a little too anxious to meditate, and I don't take the time to do yoga or breath work. And I know that would help if I did some yoga and breath work, because I've done that in the past and then meditated. Um, so,
And
you
that's
know,
where it's really helpful to do a group. If you do connect with us in a group, it kind of helps you keep, helps you get back on the horse if that happens. And it also helps. I find it so much easier than when I'm by myself, if I have, some anxiousness about something in life. I see that Sandra's written, I had trouble not falling asleep today. It was so relaxing. Um, yeah, it was really relaxing. And that's really good for your, body and mind together.
mhm. Our nervous system so desperately needs relaxation.
And sometimes, there have been people with trauma who will almost like if they get too relaxed, might bounce back into sympathetic mode. So watch that on certain days. I've noticed that even with myself. And then listening to a guided practice can be helpful.
Yeah, yeah, a voice can be grounding. Yeah, yeah. Julie, was there another comment in the chat?
Yeah, well, thank you. And I appreciate the thank yous. And as we always say, if you didn't find our practices useful, or maybe they're not useful in the moment, we encourage you to find something that takes you to a relaxing place, right? A time in nature or doing your favorite hobby. We're just really encouraging it to take time for self-care. And if you're one of those people who's doing everything for everybody, say, hey, I'm taking care of myself so that I can be available to help others. I love helping others. It actually is shown to increase people's longevity. Oh, there's a question. I found it tough keeping still during the meditation, but hearing Laurel say sometimes it's tough when you are anxious was helpful. Really appreciate the class. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, and
And
then
yeah,
okay,
I was going to say Felix has a thank you, Felix, for bringing this up. This is a great one. Laurel, Julie, and I have actually been talking about this one. Felix has shared, in some types of meditation, the goal is to shut off your mind, not be attuned to or with it. How does this relate or not relate to mindfulness?
yeah, I mean,
Hmm.
we're really not trying to shut off our mind. There are some trance-like meditations, and early on in the mindfulness world, that was a really even more common thought. And I found with the research that the people were switching back. They actually, if they were doing a really focused meditation, they could turn off an emotional reaction, but then just minutes later, they could fully turn it back on. So sometimes maybe you do want to practice that intentional focus type. But you have to make sure if you're not also doing something that opens you up to your own thoughts and emotions and friendliness towards them, I find that you could get that meditation side effect of depersonalization, at least from the literature.
Mhm. Yeah.
And I was just going to share in In my own practice of meditation over the years, when I first started many, many years ago, I had this idea of like, oh my gosh, I have to turn off my thoughts. I can't turn off my thoughts. I have such an overactive mind. I can't do that. And then it's learning that, well, what is it for me? What does that really mean? Like what's underneath that of like, not like shutting off or trying to stop it. For me, it was looking at it in a different context of what is stillness to me, and like allowing a practice to lead me to a place of a little more space and stillness that might feel like I'm not grabbing every thought, but there's room for it. And I'm not as, anxious to kind of move from it. And I don't know if that makes sense, but for me, it was like allowing myself to use the word of stillness. I'm going to allow my mind to move towards stillness, even though there's movement. Like I said earlier, stillness is such a riddle, right? Because there's activity in stillness. But where can I be kind of in the center of movement without the need to go on a story? And if I do go on a story in my mind, or grocery shop, or think about the past, or jump into the future, it's like, oh, can I come back to like that feeling of what is stillness to me? And that's just my own personal example of kind of how I've navigated that over the years of like, do I need to shut off my mind? No, I'm just creating a little more space in it. Yeah.
Yeah, good description, because that's how I feel sometimes too. Yeah. Another chat, do we see?
Yes. Donna has shared, I appreciate Julie's comment today about fostering connection in place of personalization. Yeah. I agree. I like that reminder too. And Tony said, I call it putting my mind on cruise control. Yeah.
So I hope that, you experiment with these practices. We also teach a mindful steps 2 in spring, or it's probably starting in winter, like late January or February, that goes a little deeper. If you're on this journey to really maybe explore your mind and relationship with your own, thoughts and emotions, and want to take that a little further, I encourage you. Some of you have already done mindful steps too. And
Donna, I understood. I kind of like understood what you meant. Donna said, "Oops, that was depersonalization," but I interpreted your quote as that. So connection in place of depersonalization. Yeah. Getting connected to people, to pets, to nature.
Even your sense of like worth and purpose in the world. We are worthy. And just reminding ourselves of that. Ooh, we have some more comments. The tension you didn't realize you had. Yes. Maybe I'll read it. It's difficult for me to give this the time it takes, but I'm going to try some of this when I do have time for myself.
Yeah. And for me, a mindfulness practice, of meditation and of mindfulness in general, being mindful of when I'm walking sometimes, driving, cooking, is coming back to a sense of connection with myself. Like I've held up my fingers with you all before. Your primary relationship is you to you. And so these moments of mindfulness and of mindfulness meditation is you coming back home to you and resonating with yourself in your body, connected.
Right, because if you don't connect with yourself, that's going to affect your love and compassion to others, because that's you're in a relationship with the world.
Yeah. Well, again, we want to honor your time, and it's a little over 1, but please, we still have time if you'd like to ask us a question, not in chat, but just Here's the poll. If you could please, this helps us so much.
Yes.
Yeah, and thanks to everyone who filled out the other the Qualtrics surveys. I was really moved by, you know, the different approaches people are taking, you know, sharing your frustrations at times, your wins, your you know, what felt good, what was still being worked on. It really helps us to see people's journeys and understand maybe how to, when we're giving our class, to be able to keep those things in mind, because we have blind spots, and that helps us out.
Yeah. Yeah.
We don't have the same stressors as everyone here, and there's a lot of variety in the attendees. That's what we found out in terms
Yeah.
of what you guys do at work. And
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. And Julie and Heidi give a weekly mindfulness on YouTube, on our mindfulness website on YouTube. And then I, on Wednesdays from 1:30 to 1:50, lead a guided meditation. And that's in the Wellness Wire. Those links are in the Wellness Wire. Okay. And then we're going to have a standalone class in December on holiday stressors or something like that. Oh, thank you everyone for coming.
you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. These comments are wonderful. Thank you.